Okay, I think we're nearly live. Let's just wait for it to start on YouTube. Starting. Right, okay, it looks like we are live now. My name is Matt from XL Pro Tech, and today I want to finish off the job that I started on the Novation KS Rack, which was to replace these two slider pots here. I've got the parts in from Focusrite in the UK, so thank you to those guys for providing me with the parts. And so yeah, basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to be, I took off that slider last time in the last video. I just need to clean that up. Obviously it's a through hole solder, so what I need to do is remove the existing solder that's obviously still there, and we're going to remove this sliding pot here. Obviously clean all that out, put the new ones on, solder all those in, and hopefully we should then put it all back together again. If it all goes quiet, don't worry, I'll still be here. I might have to answer an inquiry or something like that, but let's just crack on with it and let's get this this pot off here. So let's turn it around. I'm going to try and just get this preheated. We'll turn on the fan, so it might go a bit noisier now. We can probably afford a bit more air on this because we're not dealing with so small components that we normally are. So let's just get a bit of flux going around those joints there. So I'm going to preheat it by holding the rework gun around the area. Nothing too major, just sort of getting the board up to heat. We are in Yorkshire after all, and it's never warm in Yorkshire. In fact, I'm going to turn this around because it's going to be easier for me when I come to pry this off the board. So yeah, if you haven't guessed, we are live. So anything could happen. I've been messing around with the suppression, the noise suppression settings. So if you can't hear me, just tell me in the chat. I've been trying to get it so it won't really pick up on the noise from the heater, from the sorry, the air filter. So nice and gently, we don't need to rush this. Just gently sort of preheating the board, getting to the joints. And then sort of once you've sort of preheated it, we can go in a bit closer just to melt all that solder away. There we go. So That's the first part of the board off. That's the first part of the slider out. Just try and reposition my tweezers so we can get to that other bit. And there we go. That second slider is out. Second pot slider is out. And that can go in the rubbish bin. So, what we want to do now is, let's see if I can get this. Just turn that off a second. Get this a bit closer so you can see it. So there are still some solder left in the through in the holes. So we're going to need to clear that up to put our out of the pots in, our new pots. Hopefully, what we should be able to do. Let me just turn on the soldering iron. Make sure we've got some solder. Okay, so we're at a good point where we can actually melt the solder. So we'll just try and use the pump here to get the solder out. This isn't always the best method to use, but seems to be working okay here. Oh. So yeah, that seems to be working okay in this case. Sometimes if you've got some very stubborn solder, a pump like this is going to be a bit of a nightmare for you. Trying to do this with isn't great. Oh, did we get it? Yes, we got that. Cool, so, oh no, we've got some down here as well to do. Cool, so we've actually got those fairly clean. I'm happy enough to put those sliding pots in there, the new ones, and make sure we rotate these the right way, make sure we can actually put them in. In fact, let's just turn it round and make sure that we've got all the solder on the other side. So this one here is quite soldering iron again. So yeah, we've just got a bit poking out, a bit more solder on this side here, which I also couldn't see from the other side. Cool. Just replace the soldering iron. My soldering iron is actually above my head, so hopefully that will never fall on me. So yeah, our new pots should easily sort of just slide in there into the holes that we've cleaned out. There's only one way that these will fit in for the B5Ks made by Alpha. So that there shouldn't be a rotation issue on these. Right, let's. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this over. Now these are going in sort of okay, but they'll never sort of go in fully without a bit of heat, really. So there's always going to be a bit of residue solder that you're never going to quite be able to get. So what I'm going to do, get my trusty tweezers, just heat that up. Just sort of push the amp in. But potentially one of the legs is bent. Hop, 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 hop. Cool, there we go. We are in. Let's just solder those off now. Solder, there we go. So just make sure that your pots are well sort of down and sort of seated correctly. We can just sort of go around and seal that off with a bit of solder. So don't go overly mad with the solder. You know, just put enough on so that it's held in place. You know, you don't need to have a massive ball of solder. You don't need to have a massive ball of solder all, you know, covering the complete bit of solder there, just bridging the connection. So always check your work. Again, just before you start soldering, make sure that your your pot or whatever through hole component. Your soldering is pushed down into the hole correctly. And then again, once you've finished as well, just check for any bridged connections. If there's solder sort of going between 2 points that wasn't there when you started, you need to correct that. So there we go. That's. Let me double check the work. Silly me, I didn't even have the air filter on there for that part. Never mind. So yeah, let me just visually inspect it. It's probably going to go out of your view for a second. Yep, I'm quite happy with those. In fact, I'll just touch up that one. Oh. And the rest I'm happy with. Get the residue solder off. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to clean around the area with some alcohol. And some Q-tips. Q-tips. I'm not even American. I've been watching too much Lewis Rosman. Some earbuds. Although quite a lot of our viewers are American, so where the hell did I put them? Ah, here we go. Oh. Just noticed that I've blocked the view with the soldering iron over the camera with the cable. So let's just give it a good clean around the joints with the alcohol. This is pretty much 100% alcohol, IPA, isopropanol alcohol. Yeah, the good thing about this stuff is that it dries instantly, basically. It goes on wet and it will just all evaporate eventually. So this will just get rid of a bit of our bit of flux that we've put on here. So yeah, that's the sort of colour of the residue of the flux. This is an Amtech flux that we're using. That's it. Where possible, you don't want to leave the flux on the board. Cool, there we go. Now then, let's try and put this all back together again. I might even have to consult my own video. It's been a while to see how it all goes back together again. Okay. Let's just move that board out of the way for now. Okay, yep. Let's go over here. You must be over here somewhere. Excellent, there we go. That's all the sort of rubber bits for the buttons. And this little beauty goes right on top. So it's just a case of aligning it up with all the sort of rubber bits, because the rubber bits actually poke through these holes here. And then we need to find the screws. Where did I put them? And I'll also find a screwdriver as well while I'm here. Okay. I'm literally struggling to find where I put the screws, to be honest with you. Oh. Okay, well, I can't find the screws for the time, for the time being, so probably what we'll do, we'll end the stream there. In fact, these are screws here. These might be the screws, I might have found them. I had a picture of them being black, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they were here all along. Let's just have a quick check. If these aren't the ones, then we'll just end the stream here. And oh no, I think we've got them. Yep, yep, those are them. So as I was saying, just make sure all of these rubber bits are poking up through. I'm going to put these in loosely for now, and then we're going to tie. We're going to put them all in. Tighten them up once we're sure that everything lines up correctly. Just turn it round, just make sure that everything appears at the front as it should. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're looking good there. Oh, let's put that into view. This screwdriver's terrible, let me change it. So yeah, just go around, put all the screws in, make sure your little rubber bits are popping through those holes still. Move that microscope out of your way. Right, let's just tighten all these up. All right. Okay, I'm missing about 2 screws, but I'll find them later. What I'll try and do now is is put it back together again, just ensure that it works. So here is the base unit. And what we want to do is put this cable here into the Now then, tricks on me for this one. The cable goes in there. I need to actually get the board, take the board out slightly, put the cable in, and then retighten the screws, and then it's the only problem when you've left a bit of time between taking something apart and doing the actual repair itself, where you wait for parts. Sometimes you just forget the order of things. Okay, here we go. So our interconnecting cable is in. Let me just screw that back down a bit again. So right, okay, now that is, let's put this one back on, and then what we need to do is reconnect this into the board here. Right, so let's just pop this. I'm afraid you're not going to be able to see this bit, but okay. And when you're putting it on, you just need to make sure that your power button is coming through the hole correctly. Just like that. And then that should all fit together, slot together nicely. This one seems to have a bit of a kink at this end in the metal, so I might just have to fix that later on. But, let's just get some power to it and make sure we're good. Okay, here we go. We're on and good. All our lights are coming through okay. And our next check is just to put some headphones in and make sure that we're still getting sound. We're still getting and the most important that these things work here. So you can see there that the sustain is okay. When I've touched this as well, the release, amp envelope release, the figures are changing when I move the slider. So they are functioning all good and all correctly. You can see that they go from 127 to 0, 127 to 0. Same for these ones here that I haven't really touched. So yeah, they are all good, and this repair has, if I might say so myself, been a success. So all good. Yep, all the sounds coming through okay. Everything appears to be working fine. This is a repaired Novation KS Rack. So what we've done, we've repaired these two slider knobs here with parts from Focusrite in the UK, which were B5Ks if I remember correctly. And yeah, it's all we've basically desoldered the old ones where they've been bent off. That was the old slider pot. We'll put some new ones on, and they're all working fine. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Matt from XL Pro Tech. If you've enjoyed it, like, or if you haven't, dislike, subscribe to the channel as well. We do sort of quite a lot of things, a lot of technology things we repair. So we do cover stuff from synths to laptops to Macs, etc., etc. And if you've liked it that much, if this has helped you, please see the description. There's a link to leave a tip for us. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye for now.